doing? Happy Friday. I am having some issues keeping this phone upright, but we're going to go with that. How are you all doing? Welcome in. Happy Friday. A shout out to all of my chat family. I want to say hi. I am Marlene of the Marlene Saunders Show, and I do podcasts live on YouTube on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we talk about the real talk, the real conversations, and you're welcome to it. So, today, chat family, we're going to be talking about breaking free from toxic family. Now, I don't know about all of you all, but I know that I have some toxic family. And when I say family, I mean blood related, because family is who you choose to have in your life. Family is the ones that support you and love you and care about you. And we get it twisted sometimes into thinking that all we have is our blood family, where there could be people out there that support us and love us bigger and deeper than our own blood. And I wanted to talk about a blood family, right? Good morning, Uncle L. How are you doing? Welcome in. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for being here. I wanted to talk about breaking free from toxic family. I don't know how many of you have toxic family, but this message is for you. When we realize that we are not being treated the way that we deserve, when we know that, okay? First, you have to know that. For a really long period of time, I just thought that because they were my family, quote unquote, that I had to put up with their garbage, that you have to put up with it, and you don't. See, that's one thing about breaking free from toxic family, is that you have to know that you don't have to take what other people give you, and that includes your family. Sometimes we are the ones that we enable their bad behavior. And how do we do that? We do that by allowing them to talk to us any type of way, to lie to us, to cheat us, to manipulate us, to talk to us any type of way, their poor behavior, their mistreatment, they don't show up for us, all kinds of things. We all know how family can be, the toxic ones, I should say, because a good supportive family will not do what they will do. And we're going to talk about breaking free from that toxic family. So the first thing is, we definitely have to know that we have options. You have to know that you're worth. You have to know what you deserve. And even when it comes to our family members, we must set standards. You must set standards and tell them, I don't have to take what you put out. I don't have to take your mistreatment. I don't have to take your disrespect. I don't have to take none of it. And many times our family, they get into this thinking that they are entitled and they can do whatever they want and we have to take it. And it's not that way. We allow it. We allow it. We don't say anything. We let them keep taking advantage of us, and we just say, we complain about it, but at the same time, we know we hate it. If you really hate something, you got to do something about it. And I know that that's easier said than done, because, we love our families. We care about them, but do they care about us? See, that's the whole thing that we have to realize. The ones that we are pouring all this time, effort, and energy into, they don't care about you. They don't care nothing about you, because if they did, they would act right. If they did, they would treat you right. So that's what that is. So we have to first talk about that. Stop expecting for people to do a certain thing and they're not showing up like that. And it's for many reasons why people don't do the right thing. Sometimes it all starts off with they don't love themselves. They don't know themselves. They don't respect themselves. They have no boundaries. They have no standards. And when you have standards, when you know yourself, when you love yourself, it could be the reason for the conflict. They want to stay the same. They want to stay in the complaining stage. They want to stay stuck. And you have to break free from anybody in your life that is causing you to not get to a space of personal growth. And ask me how I know. I that was me for many, many years. I allowed my relatives to stop me from my dreams, from my goals, actually from my joy. And to break free from that, first you have to realize that I don't have to take it. That's one thing. Empower yourself, everybody. Empower yourself into knowing I don't have to take everything that you put out. I don't have to take your leftovers, your crumbs, your foolishness, your lies, your drama. And family can be so dramatic. I don't know about your family, but I'm just speaking on mine. Very dramatic, very controlling, very manipulative, and even sometimes very evil. It's terrible that the people that should love us the most and support us are the ones that actually hate you the most. And we can tell ourselves all of this narrative, this false narrative in our head that they love us and they care about us, and they don't. Love is shown by action. Love is an action word. So if you have your relatives and they're always telling you how much they love you, how much they're there for you, how much they support you, and at the end of the day, they're not doing anything for you to prove that, then you need to get away from them. So the first way we can break free from our toxic family is, just stop telling them your business. I think that that's a really important part of breaking free. People can't have power over you or control over you if they don't know. See, we have to stop telling them our business. Even though they are your quote unquote family, your relatives, it doesn't mean they're entitled to know. It took me a long time to learn that lesson. Just because you are my blood relative doesn't mean you're entitled to know my business. Just because they are your blood family does not mean that they're entitled to know your business. That you can keep that stuff to yourself, especially if they're a person who is going to use that as a fuel against you to make you feel bad, or to use your past and throw it in your face in your present. Because I don't know about y'all, but that's happened to me. We all make mistakes. We all do the wrong thing. But if you have relatives that only are talking about your past, but they're not talking about who you are in your present, you have to get away from those people, because they're not just stopping your personal growth, but they're stopping your mental health. And that's the next point. When we have toxic family members, they mess up your mental health. You're not able to think properly. You're not able to do the things that you need to do because they have your mind all scrambled up, like scrambled eggs, I call it. Because they always got all of these things. They're always putting all their problems. They want you to fix all their problems. They want you to bail them out from all of their situations. They want you to always be there for them and supporting them, and they care nothing about you. They're not supporting your dreams. They're not supporting your goals. They're not listening to you. And we have to break free from people that are only there for us out of convenience. They're only there to support us when it's convenient for them. When they're going to get something, those, and their hand is always out for them to receive, but they never take their same hand and extend it to you. And I understand that certain family members, especially older family members, they may not be able to help you financially, but what about other ways to support you? That's what I had to tell some of my relatives. Support is not just financial, and sometimes that can be the biggest reason they feel like that's the only thing that people can do for them. There's many ways to support other people. We can support people financially, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. Even just giving a wellness check, somebody calling you or texting you, how are you doing? If your relative, if your family, quote unquote, can't even tap in to say, how are you doing? Is there something I can do for you? Is everything all right? Are you okay? Even to say, are you alive? Because some of our relatives only tap in during holidays or special occasions or whatever. And that's not the only time you need love. I can say for me, I don't only need love during the special occasions. I need love all year. I always say you can take back that seasonal love. I don't need the seasonal love. I need somebody who is going to love me every single day. No matter what I'm going through, no matter what I'm dealing with, I need people in my life that is going to support me and love me through all of my problems, all of my stress, all my difficulties. See, that's what family means, through the ups and the downs, your highs and your lows, your good and your bad, they should be there. And if they can only be there in your celebrations, then that's not somebody who loves you and cares about you. And even though it hurts to say it, but it's the truth. There are certain individuals that they don't care about us. They don't care about you. And most of us don't want to believe that. We want to believe this lie because it's easier to believe a lie than to believe the truth. And the truth is that most of our relatives do not care about us. That they're just opportunists, and they're only there for their financial or whatever type of gain, that you're going to support them in what they need, but they're not going to support you in what you need. So we have to first know that we're being used, and we have to know that I don't have to take it. I don't have to be your doormat, and I don't have to tell you my business. That's a really big deal. And it took me a really long period of time for me to step into that and to believe it, that I don't have to take what you're putting out. I don't have to be used. I don't have to be manipulated. I don't have to listen to your drama and your foolishness. So if you have people that are your quote unquote family, your blood relatives, and they only call you in the bad times, but they only call you when they break up in a relationship, they only call you when they need you to pay a bill, or something that they're in need of, but they never call you. I'm just calling to say, how was your day? What about that one? And if you don't have healthy relationships with them, you also will be toxic. So I have to address that as well. It's not just our relatives being toxic. Sometimes we ourselves can be toxic because we're so used to the dysfunction. We're so used to doing things that is not good for us, that's not healthy, that's toxic to our emotional, mental, spiritual, and financial well-being, that we just think that this is norm. We adopt it as norm, and it's toxic. So I want you all to understand that you don't have to stay in toxic. And for me, I couldn't fix my situation with my relatives. I can't fix it. And sometimes we're trying to fix what can't be fixed, because certain individuals among our relatives have to want personal growth. They have to want change. And we have to realize that people who are toxic don't want to change. They want to just do whatever it is they want to do. They don't want anything that it involves work or adjustment or change, and especially accountability. And this brings me to my next point. If you don't have relatives and they don't know how to be accountable for their actions. Hi, Maria. How are you doing? Welcome. Appreciate you being here. Happy Friday. If you don't have people in your life and they don't know how to be accountable for themselves, this is something that it's not optional. We have to stop covering up the flaws of our relatives, because everybody needs to grow up. Nobody's kids. We're not babies. And, when it comes to your siblings, cousins, whoever, the people who are harming you or bringing you down, we cannot allow them to treat us any type of way. We can't. I had to speak up for myself, and I know that it's going to be uncomfortable. It will be, because when we have had our relatives and they're so used to acting this way and we've never said anything, that's a big issue, and it can cause a little bit of a rift. Maybe they will stop talking to you, but sometimes that's exactly what we need. Oh, awesome, Maria. That's exactly what we need sometimes. We need for them to leave us alone so that we can restore our mental health. We need them to go and work on themselves. We need for them to actually see what they're doing is wrong. And when we don't tell them how they're treating us, when we don't tell them that they're very disrespectful, they're rude, they're not supportive, if we don't tell people what they're doing, they cannot experience personal growth. So we have to stop saying they know what they do, but have you told them, when you do this, this is how it makes me feel. I learned that from therapy. You don't go into a situation and point your fingers and say, you always do this and you never, because everybody, their guard is going to go up and they're not going to listen to you. They're going to feel personally attacked. So the best way is to say, when you do X, Y, and Z, this is how it makes me feel. And I would appreciate it if you don't do this anymore. See, that's a healthy way to communicate. And I didn't grow up with healthy communication style. I actually didn't grow up with communication at all. I grew up in a family unit that when people were upset with each other, they ignored one another. And that is not good. And I took that from my childhood into my adulthood, into all my other relationships. Anytime I was mad, I would ignore. And ignoring makes even bigger issues and problems. Silence is not the answer when it comes to big major issues. We do, as adults, have to confront the problem. You have to confront the issue. You have to confront it. You can't just be like nothing is going on. That's very immature, very low vibrational, and it just will bring you down. But it's one thing. We can't expect, just because we're growing, just because we want better, that the relatives that we're talking to will want better. I had to understand that I was going to lose some people. They were going to walk away. They were going to be upset. They were going to be angry, because guess what? When our relatives know that we are not going to be their fool anymore, when they realize that we're not going to be their doormat anymore, we're not going to give them our money, give them our time, we don't want to be surrounded by their negativity, people don't want to stick around if it means work. Some people don't want to put in work. They want you to put in all the work. They want it to be a one-sided thing. And that's not healthy. I had to realize that for myself, because I don't know how many of you have relationships with your family and it's toxic. When I was going through therapy, I found that out. I thought it was normal. I thought everybody's family operated this way. Like they ignored one another. They did things to each other. And then later on, it was just like they act like nothing is happening. Like you show up and then they're talking to you again, or whatever the case may be. But that's not a healthy way to operate. It's not a healthy way to go through life. And, especially if you are a parent, you show your children too, by how you act with your siblings and your cousins. You show them what is good and healthy, and you show them also what is toxic. So I had to be a good example to the ones that were looking to me. I had to be a good example to my younger family members that it's not okay to ignore one another. I had to show them. I had to show my relatives that, it's not okay to do what you want. And also, it's very important to apologize. It's important to show the younger ones as well as the older ones that when we make mistakes, because we're human, we should apologize and not try to make the same mistakes. And communicate. Tell that to your children if you have children. Mommy made a mistake, or daddy made a mistake, uncle made a mistake. And we have to do this in a family because we care about one another. We care about one another's feelings. That's what you do in a healthy family relationship. You hurt each other and you apologize, and you don't try to make the same mistakes. Now, with that being said, it can't just be we have people who are always going to say they're sorry, because I ran into that as well. They knew that they weren't going to get away with it anymore. So when they would do things, they would do something wrong and then they would apologize, but then they keep being in that cycle of doing the same thing. So I had to also let them know that that wasn't okay. And until they learned to work on that and they learned to stop doing X, Y, and Z, whatever it was, then they couldn't be in my life. We have to set those boundaries. We have to set the standard, because if we don't set the standard and we don't set the boundaries, people are going to run over us and talk to us and treat us any way they want to. First, you got to know yourself. And that's the thing about breaking free from toxic family. First, you have to know yourself. First, you have to say, I don't deserve this. First, you have to say, I deserve to be treated with respect. I deserve to be treated with love. I deserve this. And all of us do. Every single one of us. No matter what you've been through, no matter what you have done in your life. In your life. Sorry about that. No matter what you have done in your life, we all deserve to be treated with respect. Every single one of us. And if you have people in your life that they don't respect you and they like to do backhanded compliments, because I have those in my family as well. They say something, but it's also at the same time something to smear your reputation, something to make fun of you, something like laughing at you at your own expense, but you're not laughing. It's not funny to you. Then those are the ones that you just have to stay away from. There's certain individuals that will never change. They're never going to do the right thing. No matter how patient you are, no matter how understanding, no matter how patient you are and kind and loving, and you're doing everything that you need to do. Some people have never grown up. And they could be people who are older than you. It could be your grandparents. It could be your aunts or your cousins, or it could be whoever that is in your family, quote unquote. But it doesn't mean just because you are related to them by blood, it doesn't mean that they have to be in your close inner circle. I had to learn that there was levels of relationships. And you have the people who are closest to you. Those are the people in your inner circle. Your relatives don't have to be in that inner circle. I had to learn that for myself. I have people who are complete strangers that are closer to me because they're supportive, they're compassionate, they're understanding, they encourage me, and all of those things. And my own, the ones that have the same blood running in their veins, they don't do that same thing for me. Just like Realist One here always says, a stranger off the street, a homeless person, will show you more love than your own blood relative. And I think that that is true. I've had people that don't even know me. They don't even know me. They don't even know me. They don't even know what I'm about. But they will believe in me and encourage me in my dreams more than my own blood relative. Hi, Miss Jackie. Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy Friday to everybody. Thank you all so much for the likes. I truly appreciate it. I've had people who have been complete strangers that have poured into me, that have filled up my cup, that have told me to keep going. And meanwhile, my own blood relative will always give the little, snide remarks. Oh, and looking at you, and that won't work, or that's stupid. And, we all know it. They're toxic. They don't know how to be happy for you. They don't know how to be happy for anybody else because they're not happy with themselves. So they don't want to see your elevation. They don't want to see your personal growth, okay? They don't want to see you elevating and growing and doing your best and being your best. They don't want that. There's a lot of people in our life that they don't want us to win. They want you to lose. They don't want you to be happy like you deserve to be. That's not what they want. They don't want that for you. What they want is they want to control you. They want to manipulate you. They want to make for you to have, nothing like them. And when you make a decision to do better, when you make a decision that I'm going to do better, when you start loving yourself, when you start working on you, you'll start to see those same people who say that they love you and care about you, they'll drop off. People will always drop off when you start doing better than them. And it's so sad that it happens in our own blood relatives. No matter how much people say they care about you, they still only care about you as long as you're doing the same as them. But anytime you start doing better, buy a home, get into your business, you look happy, you lose weight, you start taking care of yourself, your finances start elevating, They don't want nothing to do with you. Unfortunately, some of our blood relatives only know how to be happy when you're on the same level playing field. But anytime you start doing better, anytime you start to be happy, you get in a relationship, you're working on your business, you're not doing the same negative things, you're not complaining about your life, but you're actually doing something to make your life happy, then they are not interested in being around you, because I do think it makes them feel uncomfortable because they're not ready or they're not willing to make any changes. So those are the individuals, while we love them, we have to love them with a long-handed spoon. I love you, but I have to love you from a distance because you're stopping me from my personal growth. You're stopping me from my elevation and my peace of mind. And I know I talked about this a little bit a few minutes ago, but it's very important for us to think about our mental health. I want to say that to all of you, anybody who's watching me now live or in the replay, your mental health matters. And if we have our relatives and all they ever do is call you and complain, call you and want to take, and it's always about them and it's never about you, you have to make a decision to choose yourself. You have to make a decision to say, I want better. You have to make a decision to say that. You have to make that decision, and then you have to put it into action. And I know that is not easy because we love our relatives. We do care about them, but we cannot make love them more than we love ourselves. I had to do that for myself. I really did. And I hope that you all do that for yourself as well. Know that how important you are. Know how special you are. Know your own value. And I know I didn't grow up in that environment to be fed and poured into a positive mindset. I wasn't poured in that you can do great things and I'm here for you. And no, I didn't get that. When things were going bad in my life, all they would do is talk about me. All they did was say, you did this and you did that. But they never want to talk about when you do a good thing. They're never supportive of the things that are important to you. So that's what I had to learn, that there are certain individuals within your own family, within your own blood relative, that you have to keep at a distance. Not because you hate them. It's not because you hate them. Good morning, Miss Tamika. How are you doing? Happy Friday. It's not because you don't love them, but it's because you love yourself. See, that's what it's about. It's about us proving to ourselves that we love ourselves, proving to yourself that you deserve more, proving to yourself that you're capable of having peace in your life. And, you know, our relatives can stop us from our peace. They really can. Our relatives can stop us from our own peace of mind, from having money in our bank account. Like, we all know the ones that are always demanding. They're demanding our money, demanding, always with their hand out and making promises to repay us. And they never repaid you for the last thing that they borrowed. No, we have to break free from it. You know, it's called breaking chains, and also breaking generations of, brokenness. You know, that's something that happens within, I think, every family. That there's so many things, bad habits, bad behaviors, that generation after generation, and they keep putting up with it. The relative that steals, the relative that is a manipulator, the relative that's always coming and taking, the relative that's never supportive of anybody, the relative that's always on the low, but when they're in their highlight, when they have money, you don't hear from them. You only hear from them when they don't have it. And everything is always wrong with them, but they're never doing anything to change it. They've been complaining about the same issue for 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years. It's like, when are they going to get tired of it? But that's not up to us. They have to be sick and tired for it to change. And the same thing has to happen for us. Yes, Miss Tamika, that's right. That we have to be sick of it. And I had to say that to myself too. When you get sick and tired of being used, when you get sick and tired of things not changing, when you get sick and tired of being manipulated, And I have to say this too. Our own relatives can be jealous of us. That part. Our own relatives can be jealous of us, and our own relatives can be jealous of us and want to use us, okay? They want to use us, they want to take advantage of us, and they want to take from us. It's crazy that it could be your own parent, it could be your own brother or sister, aunt or uncle, cousin, grandparent that can be jealous of you. And it's something that I never thought of because that's not just the way I am. I'm not a jealous person. But when I was going through therapy, I had to come to that conclusion because there's nothing other than that. There are certain people within our own family and they're jealous of your winning. They're jealous of your talents and your gifts. They're jealous of your peace of mind and your light. They're jealous of your joy. They're jealous of your resilience, that no matter what, you don't stay down, whereas they do. But it's all about choices. So just like we have a choice whether we want to keep people in our life, we also have to make a choice that I don't gotta listen. I don't have to listen to their lies, their drama, their foolishness, and also the ones that are jealous of us. Stay away from them, you know? And that was a very hard thing for me to do, staying away from my own relatives, because I don't know, I came from that time period where I felt like because these were my family, no matter what, like they could do no wrong. Like if anybody else on the outside, co-worker, whoever that was outside of my family did exactly the same thing that my own relatives did, I wouldn't deal with them anymore. But we keep giving our relatives passes. We keep giving them passes, let them treat us all kinds of ways, run over us, take advantage of us, be disrespectful, on, and just continue on in their toxicity. But we are the ones that have to say enough is enough. And it's time for me to break free from my toxic family. And it's not going to be something easy. But the first thing is important. Number one, stop telling them your business. And number two, walk in silence. Don't tell them what you have going on. Just do what you are doing. Go about your life. And the next one is have peace in your life. And if you find that your own relatives are bringing confusion and drama into your life, you have to keep them all the way over there. Okay? If they only want to bring drama and whatever, confusion, disruption into your life, leave them alone. You don't have to listen to them. You don't have to be around them. You don't have to be a part of it. Love yourself enough to say, I don't have to take it, And that was a new concept for me. I don't know about any of you chat family, because everybody is different. Everybody's different. Everybody comes from different cultural backgrounds, and they're in different modes in the journey of their life. Some people are just still learning who they are. They're still learning how to be their own friend. They're learning how to talk, speak up for themselves. They don't want to confront, because I was that way. I didn't want to confront the issues and problems in my family because I didn't want people to stop talking to me. But exactly, that's the thing that we're so afraid of doing, is exactly what we need to do. If you know that they're only here to use you, you need to leave them alone. Their only reason they're around is to use you. You know that the only reason they're there is to get some money from you. They're only there to find out your business. They're only there to gossip about you. They're only there to whatever. We know what it is. Fill in the empty spaces to that storyline. We know how people are. We know how our own relatives are. We know what they're doing. We can see through the lies, the smoke screen, no matter what they say. Like they'll always say they love you, but at the end of the day, I love you, but what are you willing to do in order to prove that love to me? And if they're not willing to do anything to prove that love, then you got to leave them alone. You got to leave them alone. And for me, it meant that I just stopped informing them. I stopped going around them. You know, when they would invite me to get-togethers and come to their house. And it's crazy because how do you invite me to a get-together, but you want me to bring everything and it's your party? It's crazy the things that our own family, quote unquote, does, or the way that they treat us and use us and take advantage of us and act like it's okay when you tell them that that's wrong. How you treat me is wrong. When you don't support me, that's wrong. It's mean, it's unkind, and I don't have to take it anymore. And I just want you all to know that when you speak up for yourself, they're going to say you've changed. They're going to say you think you're better than me. They're going to say all kinds of things. So you have to be ready for that too. And that's, I think, what stops us from confronting our relatives, because we don't want them to stop talking to us. And it's crazy that the thing that is causing you the most pain, the thing that is hurting you, is the thing that you're running away from. That's the thing you're running away from. We have to stop running away from what will stop our pain and what will encourage our peace, what will encourage our joy and our prosperity in our life. We can't get peace and prosperity in our life until we make a choice to do better. And for me, doing better meant I can't deal with you anymore. I can't tell you my business. I can't have you in my inner circle. I can no longer give you my money. You need to work things out for yourself. It's like a saying that I have my other channel, Marlene Motivates, and it's enable to disable. So we enable people. We enable our relatives in toxic behavior, and it could be your children. It could be your significant other, your spouse. It could be your mom, your dad, your cousins, uncle, grandparents, whoever. But whoever your family is. But and we do so many things for them that they don't know how to do certain things for themselves. So I had to learn to take my hands off the wheel and stop trying to control, okay? And make them have their own life, make them make their own decisions. And no matter how much it hurts, sometimes we have to let our own relatives fall flat on their face for them to learn the lesson. We can't always bail them out. We cannot always be available. And I think that was one of the things that was so difficult for me in my personal growth and my elevation and becoming a healthy woman in general, is that it's not my responsibility to bail you out of your own problems. That you've put yourself in this situation. You've put yourself in this compromising situation. You keep making the same bad decisions, the same bad mistakes. You have bad behavior. They're rude, dismissive, they're jealous, they have anger issues and problems. And I'm not going to be on here like, oh, I'm perfect and I do the right thing all the time. I'm not. I'm imperfect. I'm a sinner just like everybody else. But the whole thing about it is I know how to be accountable for myself. I know how to take self-ownership, self-accountability, I mean, for what I do. When I'm wrong, I know how to be like, yeah, I was wrong. I should not have done that. And I apologize. And I try to ask myself, why did I do that? And not repeat the behavior. And I think that that's the difference between a healthy person and a toxic person. A healthy person knows how to admit their wrongs and how to sincerely apologize, and then they don't go about making the same mistakes. Hi, KK's live channel. Appreciate you being here. Good morning. And they don't work and they try not to continue to hurt you. That's the difference. But when you have relatives and you tell them what they're doing, how it makes you feel, how it disrupts your peace, how it upsets you, it makes you sad, and they still continue to do it, that's when you know that they're doing this on purpose now. See, before, when you don't inform, oh, I know, Kyle. Before, when you don't tell people what they're doing, how it makes you feel, then that's on you. But when you tell people what they're doing and then they still continue to do it, now that's malicious. Now that's on purpose. Now you know that they're toxic. Now you know they're a user. Now you know I gotta leave you alone. I can't have any more dealings with you. And no matter how hard it is, no matter how uncomfortable it may be, but you have to leave them alone until you put them on a shelf, or you put them at arm's length. Like, I can't keep you in my inner circle, okay? I can't keep you in my inner circle. Thank you so much, everybody, for the likes. I really appreciate it. You can't have certain people in your inner circle. You can't. No matter how much you want to, no matter how much you love them, they have to show that they love you. And they have to prove that they love you. And if they cannot do that, if that's too hard for them, if that's too hard for them to show up for you, they don't deserve to be in your life. And you have to break free. And how we break free from it is, first, you got to love yourself. First, you got to heal your own self. Hey, DJ Tanya Renee, how you doing, sis? Good morning. Happy Friday to you. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to all the mods. Check out my mods' channels. I really would appreciate it. And give them a like and a subscription to their channel. And if they have content, watch their videos, okay? Shout out to my mods. Thank you all so much. And I want to say this. If you have relatives and all they are is takers, why do we keep allowing them to take? Why? You know, that's a question that I had to ask myself. You know, when I was going through therapy and I was trying to get healthier, not just in my communication style, because I didn't know how to communicate. Only thing Marlene knew how to do is be angry. That's all. I was very good at being angry, but I came from that. That's how my relatives communicated. All they knew is when they were upset, it was shouting, it was cussing you out, it was disrespect, it was taking jabs at you, it was spreading your personal business. They didn't know how to just embrace one another and just be supportive. So I started working on myself so that I could break generational curses. You know, there always has to be, it only takes one person in a family to break a generational curse. You know, it only takes one. It takes one strong person. And for some reason, I was the one chosen in my family to break the generational curses. That, you know, just starting off by telling people what you maybe didn't do before. Tell your brothers and your sisters, your cousins and your aunts, you love them. I'm here for you. But at the same time, I'm not only here for you when you need me, I also need support as well. See, it has to be a one hand washing the other. There has to be support on both ends. And it does. It takes a lot of courage to be mature. And it takes maturity that we can all be full-grown adults. But it doesn't mean that we're mature ones. I know for many years, yes, I'm an adult, but it doesn't make me mature. It doesn't mean that I have emotional growth, emotional prosperity, know how to communicate. There's a lot of us that we don't know how to communicate properly. We don't know how to respect the boundaries of other people. But I had to inform other people, you know, I'm not always going to be available anymore. So if you call me and it goes to voicemail, don't get upset. Don't get angry. Leave me a voicemail. And when I'm available, I'll get back to you. We have to set healthy boundaries with our relatives. And if you have not started, today's a good day to start. You know, you have to show people I'm not always going to be available for you. I'm not your bank. I'm not your check cashing place. I'm not your therapist. And if you don't want to grow and make changes and do the right thing, I can no longer keep you in my life. I had to have that conversation with a few people in my life. And until this day, there's some that just don't talk to me anymore because they're upset. They're upset because their lies It's not going to work on me anymore. It's not. See, when you grow, when you elevate, when you mature, when you learn about healthy communication, you expect the same thing. It's not always going to be me checking on you. You have to check on me. You need to call me. You need to show up for me sometimes. You need to ask me how I'm doing. What am I going through? How can I support you? I was just thinking about you. That's healthy relationship. I had to give them examples. And if they're not willing to do that for you, you got to leave them and push them to the side. Like, I'm sorry. I love you, but I have to love myself more. Okay? I think that's very important. Thank you. I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I'm glad you're doing great as well. Yes, I am, Tanya. Yes, everybody. I hit those emojis on the side. It's so important for us to put that oxygen mask on ourselves. And put that oxygen mask on yourself. Respect yourself, ladies and gentlemen. Treat yourself like a queen or a king. And make it something that's not optional. You know, I made it as something not optional. It's non-negotiable. There's not going to be any negotiating when it comes to how you treat me, how you talk to me. You're not going to talk to me any type of way. You're not going to cuss me out and then turn around and think you can be in my inner circle or know my business or come around me. No, we're not doing toxicity anymore. Okay, we're breaking all that. And I had to go about doing that. And it's a lot of work. It was many years that we are unhealthy and toxic and get used to not talking about things that are bothering us. And I had to say that to my brothers and sisters. You know, I know that for many years we never talked about how we felt. And if we don't want to show up to something, it's okay. You know, I had to show my brothers and sisters that, like, I love you, but I can't show up today because I have to be there for me today. And it's okay. And then we said, okay, we'll see you next time. That's a healthy relationship. It shouldn't feel like if I don't show up today, they're not going to talk to me anymore. They don't want to. No, there shouldn't be conditions on love. Love should be supportive of our mental, physical, emotional, financial well-being. And if our family, quote unquote, cannot help us to elevate and to be our best, they shouldn't be forcing you. If you like, I'm tired today, and they said, well, are you going to do it or not? That's not a healthy relationship. They should say, get your rest, take care of you, I'll see you next time. That's support. That's real love. You know, Miss Jackie says, no one can love us better than we can love ourselves. Nobody, Miss Jackie. Nobody can love us like we love ourselves. But we first have to put on our own oxygen mask and say, but first I have to go about finding out who I am. What is my value? What is my worth? And, you know, and then let it go from there. Seeking your own friendship. Finding out, what do I like to do? What do I want to do? What is my goals in life? What is my passions? And then letting yourself do that and be that. For a very long time, I could not get into my passions in my life because I was so busy supporting other people's goals. See, I'm definitely a support person. I can't speak for any of you chat family. I'm just speaking for myself. I'm definitely a supporter. I support people all the time, but all the support that I'm giving to other people in my own family, I wasn't giving that same support to myself. And that's not good. That's not cool. You have to ask yourself why. Why don't I support myself? Why don't I support my own mental health? Why don't I support my own financial health? Why don't I support my own spiritual health? Why don't I support my own elevation and progress? If you are staying in the same position in your life month after month, year after year, you have to ask yourself why. Is it because I want to stay here? Or is it because my relatives or people who are around me are stopping me from being my best? And for me, the latter was true. They were stopping me from being my best because I was always being there for everybody's kids. I'm being there for this and bailing people out and supporting them and going to all their functions. But I'm not working on my own functions, working on my own gifts and using my own talents. So the only one that can change that is us. And that's real. That's real talk right there. Yes, DJ Tanya. We have to say to ourselves, enough is enough. It's time for me to live my life unapologetically, and don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad. Don't feel guilty if other people are looking at you in your own family and they're jealous that maybe you went and got your education, you have a good job, you found a nice home or apartment, you got a nice car, you're in a relationship. See, sometimes our own relatives will be jealous that we are doing what they're maybe afraid to do. And you have to tell them it's okay for you to have your own dreams. It doesn't have to be what I'm doing. Live your own dreams out loud, and I'll be there to support you in your dreams. That's what I had to tell my own siblings and cousins. I'll be there to support you in your dreams, but this is my dreams. This is my life. And while I love you, I have to start loving myself. I have to start taking care of myself, because following behind your family, you'll wind up in the hospital, blood pressure through the roof. You'll be sick, gaining all of this weight, stressed out for what? And all they'll be saying is you were a good person. That's all they will be saying at your funeral. I hate to make it go there, but it's the truth. If you don't take care of yourself, you will wind up in a casket. You will wind up 6 feet under the ground. I'm just coming with the real talk, okay, everybody? If you don't learn to love yourself and take care of yourself, you will be under the ground. Okay? You'll be under the ground, and all they'll say is they were a good person. No, all you were was a person as a doormat. All you were is a person that was used and controlled and manipulated, and they like that. You got to stop it. Chat family. We deserve way better than to just be a doormat and to be used and to be controlled and for them to know your business. No. Go about living your life. And, something that I always say on my other channel, Marlene Motivates. You have to want your own life. You have to love your own self first. You have to put on your own oxygen mask and say, I deserve the overflow. I deserve the abundance in my life. I deserve it. And until you believe you deserve great things, until you know that the potential is inside of you, you're not going to do anything about it. You won't. You won't do anything about your life until you say, I deserve to change it. And until you make a decision to say, I deserve to change, I deserve to have better, I deserve the overflow, until you start doing things for yourself. See, I had to stop complaining that I'm gaining weight, I have a headache, I have this, I have that, I want to do this. But actually, sometimes we complain about things, but we're not willing to do anything about it. I know I was in that position. I have to be real and honest. I was complaining that I don't have money. I'm complaining that I don't have any time for myself, when actually I have time, but I'm not using my time wisely. I'm using all my time to support other people, but never putting any time to support myself, support my own mental health, taking care of my own health, making, nobody's stopping you from putting on your sneakers and going for a walk or going to the gym. But the truth and the reality of it is we don't want to go to the gym because we're used to being this. We're used to. See, change is scary. I'm going to be honest with every single one of you. When I went through therapy, change is scary. It's scary to step out into your own personal truth and to say, I'm going to be me for the first time in my life. I'm going to love me. I'm going to respect myself. I'm going to use my gifts and my talents. I'm going to use them. And if that intimidates other people, if that makes other people jealous, if whatever, if they don't like it, then that's their business. But I have to be me So I'm saying this to anybody who this message resonates with. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait and say when you're older, when you get sick, or whatever the case may be. Don't wait until it's too late. Do it today. Make changes today. If you know that they're using you, go about. Stop telling them your business. Living your life. Have your peace of mind. Enjoying your life. Using your gifts. Going out and having fun. And don't feel guilty to live your life, you know. I have to say that to you all. When I got into a space in my life where I was happy with myself, I was loving myself. You're going to have people, oh, she thinks she's better than everybody now. She thinks she's this because she got this job. No, I worked hard. I got my education. I hustle. I grind. I do what I need to. I treat others with respect. That's why I get the things that I get. And there are people that they will never do the right thing. They're always finding some ways to mistreat people. And that's why certain things come for them. That's why they're always on the low. That's why they never have. If you don't give, if you don't respect others, if you're not kind, if you're not compassionate, then of course you're not going to have. Your life will not go right until you start to do right. And while I care for people and I'm kind and I'm a very giving person, but I had to learn that I can't give people love for themselves. All I could do is love me and show them by my example of courage, my example of strength, my example of saying, no matter what, I'm going to be happy. No matter what, I'm going to have peace in my life. No matter what, I'm going to have joy. No matter what. So don't let your relatives, don't let your blood family stop you from your peace. Don't let your blood family stop you from using your gifts. Don't let your blood family stop you because of their jealousy, because their lies, their controlling, their actions, their whatever, you know, their lack of whatever, doing whatever they need to do, you know. They have no drive for their life. They have no ambition. That's not your problem. It's not your problem that they don't want to be a hard worker. It's not your job that they don't want to do the right thing. That they sometimes it's our own relatives that we got to leave them alone. Okay? You got to leave them alone so that you can fly, so that you can spread your wings, so that you can have peace, so your finances can elevate. You know, I had to learn that once I stopped giving out my money, I realized that I could have money. I realized that I could, you know, go on my vacations and my trips because I wasn't giving my money away. Just because people ask you for money doesn't mean you have to give them. You have the option to say no. Just because a person asks your business doesn't mean you have to tell them. Okay? You don't have to tell them nothing. Stay in your lane and mind your own business. And sometimes when we start making those changes and we are breaking free from the negativity, we're breaking free from the lies, the lack of communication, okay? When we break free, okay? When we break free, they don't like it. There's a lot of people that will not like it. They will not like it when we are growing. They will not like it when we elevate. They will not like it when they can't use us, okay? They won't like it. It's going to make them uncomfortable. Now I can't. Well, then who's going to do it? But that's not your problem. It's not your problem to fix them. It's not your problem to step up and to fix their whatever. That's not my problem. You need to grow up. They need to grow up. They need to do the right thing. Okay? And don't listen to other people when they tell you, okay, that I need your help. I need help financially. I need a listening ear. See, the thing about our toxic family members, they're always asking you for advice. What do you think I should do? But at the same time, you know they're not going to do it. At the same time, you know it, because they're always asking the same thing. What do you think I should do? But you know they're not willing to change. You know they're not going to do the right thing. You know that. So don't give them the advice, because they know they're not going to put it into action. There's a lot of people who like to have a lot of talk, but they're not willing to do anything to change it. So thank you all so much for tapping into today's podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I want to tell you all, break free. Break free from the drama. Break free from the lies. Break free from feeling that you have to be controlled, that you have to be used, that you have to give them your money. You don't, okay? You don't. Know better. Know your worth. Know your power. Know your light, okay? And elevate. Sometimes the reason why we're not elevating is we don't have the confidence to say, I can do this. I can do this, even if you're not going to support me. Even if you don't like me anymore. I don't like myself. I love myself. Do that for yourself, chat family. Do that for yourself. Love yourself enough to say, I have to move on with my life. I have to have peace. I have to use my gifts. I have to have joy. And I have to live my life on my terms. Thank you all so much for tapping in. I really appreciate every single one of you. I hope that something that I talked about today resonated with you. And it's going to help you to be your best. Okay? It's going to help you to be your best. Be your best with joy. Be your best with peace, and go about living your life. Don't let your broken, manipulative, jealous, a lazy, controlling relatives stop you from your potential, stop you from your peace, stop you from your finances, stop you from using your gifts. Don't let them stop you, because they don't want to do anything with their life. You go about living your life on your terms. You tuned into the Marlene Saunders Show, where we have real talk, real conversations, and you're welcome to it. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe. Turn on your notifications. We do podcast lives Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. At I think 11:45 today or noon today, I'm going to be doing a collaboration with Nate the Great, a podcast 2.0. And so I'll see you guys over there. It's going to be a podcast, so you're not going to see me on camera, but I will be over there collaborating with Nate the Great podcast. So I'll see you guys there. And if not, I'll see you guys back here on Monday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't let your family use you. Don't do it. You deserve better. I'll see you guys on the next one. Everybody have a great Friday and a great weekend.